Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. So this is part 17 in series 1 and today's topic is Plaster of Paris. So let's get started. So this is the part 17 of series 1. In this video we are going to learn the uses and properties of Plaster of Paris. So before going deep into the concept, let's see how Plaster of Paris looks exactly like. Plaster of Paris, it looks like a white powder. In this picture, the plaster of Paris, which is also called as POP, is kept in a jar. It is also available in the market in the form of packets. So let's learn the uses of plaster of Paris. Coming to the uses of plaster of Paris, if you want to read, then please pause this video. Plaster of Paris is made up of gypsum. Chemical formula of plaster of Paris is CaSO4.2H2O. CaSO4 is calcium sulfate and 2H2O, it's two molecules of water. So coming to fourth point, it is used for making statues and also it is used as a cement in decoration items. It is used as fireproofing material and for making chalks, used in hospitals in case of bone fracture or sprain so as to hold the hand or leg in a firm position. It is used to fill small gaps on walls and roofs. If you can see, this head of a statue is made up of plaster of Paris. And this entire statue is made up of plaster of Paris. As you can see in this picture, plaster of Paris is used to make flower vases and other decorative items. Here is another decorative item which is made up of plaster of Paris. Here you can see that plaster of Paris is used as fireproofing material and for making chalks. These are the chalks that we use in our schools and colleges. Plaster of Paris is also used in case of bone fracture, so it holds the hand firmly in a specific position. Plaster of Paris is also used to fill small gaps on walls and roofs. So these are the uses of plaster of Paris. Now let us look at the properties of plaster of Paris. Coming to the properties of plaster of Paris, it is a white powder. It has remarkable property of setting into a hard mass on wetting with water. That means it turns into hard substance when water is added. So plaster of Paris should be stored in a moisture proof container. Moisture proof container meaning is that no form of water or moisture which contains H2O should not go into the jars of plaster of Paris. It should not get in touch or contact with plaster of Paris. The reason why it should be stored in a moisture proof container is that water should not come in contact with plaster of Paris. In case if it comes, then it will turn into a hard substance. So that is the reason why the water should not come into the contact with plaster of Paris. Now let us look at the preparation of plaster of Paris. It is prepared with the help of gypsum. Now what is gypsum? Gypsum is calcium sulfate .2H2O. When heated, gives you calcium sulfate half H2O and leaves out 3/2 H2O. Gypsum is calcium sulfate dihydrate. Now what is the meaning of dihydrate here? Di means 2, hydrate is water, so 2H2O. The chemical formula of gypsum is CaSO4.2H2O. So that is calcium sulfate dihydrate. So the chemical formula of gypsum is CaSO4.2H2O. Plaster of Paris is prepared by heating gypsum to a temperature of 373 Kelvin. How do you prepare plaster of Paris? You prepare plaster of Paris by heating gypsum to what temperature? To a temperature of 373 Kelvin. When gypsum is heated to a temperature of 373 Kelvin, it loses 3/4 of its water of crystallization and it forms plaster of Paris. So by now you must have understood that to form plaster of Paris we need gypsum, and with gypsum what we have to do? We have to heat gypsum to a temperature, very high temperature of 373 Kelvin. Then it loses 3/4 of its water of crystallization and then it forms plaster of Paris. So till now we have studied preparation, properties and uses of gypsum. Let's see why plaster of Paris is called as plaster of Paris. See, chemically plaster of Paris is calcium sulfate hemihydrate. Now what is the formula of calcium sulfate hemihydrate? Yes, Exactly, it is CaSO4 dot half H2O. That is why we call it as hemihydrate. And whereas coming to dihydrate, the calcium sulfate dihydrate is gypsum. So since it loses water after heating it to 373 Kelvin, then it becomes hemihydrate. So that is why we call it as plaster of Paris. Why we call it as hemihydrate? Because it's half H2O, it's not 3/2 H2O or some other thing. Yes, this is how gypsum looks like. It looks like a small marble. So that's all for today's class. Let's see what we have discussed in this video. The uses of plaster of Paris we have discussed, the properties of plaster of Paris we have discussed, preparation of plaster of Paris we have discussed, and also we have seen why plaster of Paris is called as plaster of Paris. That's what we have discussed till now. Please like, share and comment down below in the comment section, and also please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you everyone. Until next time, bye bye.